I wasn't telling my wife what I was feeling. That led me to cheat. Why did I cheat? I cheated because I couldn't even have a real fucking conversation with my wife. I couldn't tell her what I was actually feeling. So it seemed in my mind, being a liar, that it made sense to disconnect emotionally from my wife and go emotionally connect with other women, which then led to physical intimacy. To go that direction, then to actually have the courage to just look at my wife and say, here's what I'm feeling and here's where I'm at. Like, this is what I'm fucking going through right now. And I, instead, it was, and then it was, what the fuck? And I would freak out and fuck you, and you don't even know the stress I'm going through. Fuck you. And then it was, fuck. Then it was
drinking, alcohol, smoking.
To try to deal with the guilt and the shame from being this fucking lunatic. And so I started searching it. And I was sitting in this like super alone place with a woman that doesn't want me, a family I'm going to lose for the second time. Second divorce I was heading into. Money's gone. You find out real quick, employees only stick around if there's a check. Client's gone. Relationships burned. And I'm alone. It's just me. And I started running ultra marathons at the time. And I had read compensating for it. And what I didn't recognize too was it was perfect for me because I would run so hard and so far, 10 miles, 15 miles, 20 miles in training runs, middle of the night, training myself to stay awake through the night, running and training to do these races. But there was this stillness that came into my world.
But you were so successful in 2007, 2006.
Yeah.
You had like 100 employees.
Yeah.
If somebody is looking from the outside, he could say like, this guy, that's it. I want to become like him.
Yeah. Most guys that are in that place, they don't even want to be themselves.
So what did you do wrong? We will talk about what did you do to get back on track where you are now. But what did you do wrong to get into this place?
I tried to be
what you didn't do.
I tried to be what you wanted me to be. Or the worst part, what I thought you wanted me to be. So I would look at outside, and then in that place I would try to uncover what I figured to be what you wanted me to be. Religiously, I had all these questions growing up. I didn't even know if I believed what my parents believed. I was raised Mormon, and I was like, I don't even know if I believe this. So, but I would put on the good Mormon Christian boy face, and then I had the football, American football face. I was something different for everybody. And I was never actually clear about who I was. So when I got into business, I just mimicked and modeled what my mentors and guys who I thought had it all or had success, I did what they did. I wore suits the way they wore suits. I talked the way they talked. I did things the way they did it. And so I was always uncomfortable at some level inside. I was uncomfortable with the fact that I don't know if this is, I can't be all of me with you. Because if you knew this other part of me, you would never do business with me. If my wife knew what I was saying over here, she would leave me for sure. If my I was constantly trapped as a businessman in this place of not being able to be me. So I became a story, a fiction to everyone. And in that I became a liar to myself.
So what did you do in this New Year's Eve in 2007 to turn your life around?
That one, 2007 into 2008 was the big shift of losing everything. By spring of 2008, we moved into a rental house that my in-laws had. They had a friend who was willing to give us a rental. We were short selling and or foreclosing on property all over the place. And my wife was tolerating me because we had money. But the minute there was no money, my wife tolerated zero. And she's like, you are fucking worthless. You not only ignored me for 7 years, you not only made love to your businesses and forgot I existed and that our children were here. You not only ignored us, but now you have nothing. And all these people that you gave all this time and energy and attention to, where are they? They're all gone too. So guess what, asshole? You're alone with me and I don't even want you. So I'm sitting there in this place in 2008 just going,
Shit.
I kept going down, down, down. It's like one time I did this, I like ate too much edible marijuana with some friends. It was just a few, like 6, 7 years ago. It was a horrible experience. And they said you were supposed to eat this little tiny bit, and I ate like a whole like chunk like this, which was for like 6 people, not one person. So then I ate it, and I was like, no problem, no problem. And like the floor kept dropping out, and I was melting into the bed, and I was disappearing into the gates of hell. Like that sinking feeling when you eat too much edible marijuana, like that. That's what I felt like emotionally all the time. I was scared. I was scared of men. I was scared of powerful businessmen. I was scared. I couldn't hang out with them because I felt so fucking unworthy to be me anymore. And I had no idea who I was. So I'm sitting in this place, and the only thing I have available to me is I begin for the very first time asking better questions. The first question I asked is, who am I? This sounds cliche as shit because everybody starts every personal development book in the world with, who am I? I don't know. I'm searching the universe for the answer. I found a guru in India. Now I'm enlightened. But I really didn't know. And that's when I had to start getting rid of things. I walked away from the religion I was raised in a decade ago. I walked away from the relationships and from the friendships, and I walked away because I recognized the only way I could find an answer to that was to get rid of all the labels that I had allowed to identify me. And I stripped myself down to simply, I don't know. And inside of I don't know, I found an answer that seemed to me to make sense. I had studied with the Shia monks. I studied with so many people during 2008, 9, 10, 11, just deep inside this game of what the fuck? Like, I can't keep living like this. I have to wake up and be like able to just look at myself and be like, yes, I'm cool with me. You might not be cool with me, but I'm okay with that because I'm cool with me, but I was not cool with me. And most people that you will hear, powerful guys, you'll meet them, they say they're cool with themselves. Like, I expose the fuck out of wealthy men all the time. The warrior lifestyle and the have-it-all lifestyle and body being balanced in business, living core 4 and stacking every day and learning how to get to the truth. When you live from this place of integrity, you see right through bullshit arse. Most speakers, full of shit. Most trainers, full of shit. Most coaches, full of shit. Most businessmen, full of shit. Right? They're very good at one thing. You peel one layer back, you got a dude whose life is in shambles, falling apart, pretending that everything's good. My neighbors in my neighborhood. The houses inside my neighborhood, anywhere between $10 to $35 million. Everyone in that neighborhood, there's a common thread by 80% of those families. Second, third, or fourth marriage. Addiction problems. But on the outside, you look in a neighborhood and you're like, Bentleys, Ferraris, Lambos, lifestyle, Instagram, OC housewives, blah, 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 all this, blah. And then the truth behind all of it is, most people's lives are in a complete and utter fucking chaotic drift. And I got tired of it. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so I quit.
You quit being you.
I quit being me that I had told everyone. And I realized I didn't have any money. I had no relationships, no networks. I had nothing. So I was like, okay, the only thing I do have, the truth. Okay. And the cost of having the truth is to stop lying. Okay. But see, I was so addicted to the stories that I even named for one of my companies coming out of this, I named it the Authentic Entrepreneur, LLC. Like that business I still have, which runs one of my companies that owns a bunch of other ones, but I changed the domain because it was very difficult to type. So I was like, theauthenticentrepreneur.com. It's like, oh my God, I couldn't even spell it right half the time. But this led me to a reminder. My job every day is not to be perfect. My job is to live in the deepest truth of who I am, irregardless of who supports me. And I will never be bought again. Which means I will build businesses, and I began down a path of rebuilding companies in my world with a fuck you attitude, but mostly a fuck you attitude to my past self, not to other people. People think I'm like fuck you to them. I'm not fuck you to you, although I do tell a lot of people to fuck off. What I do tell the person to fuck off the most is me. And my bullshit, and my stories, and my tendencies to want to hide. And now I'm so addicted to being just, here's what it is, that it leads me to have a desire to tell the truth at such a deep level that it actually intimidates the shit out of most people. I'm the guy at a cocktail party when people are like, so who are you? I was like, well, my name's Garret J. I've been married for 15 years. About 7 years into my marriage, my wife and I went into the dark place. I cheated on my wife.
Wow.
I got drug problems, drinking problems.
Stop.
Yeah, and dudes are sitting there with a beer and they're like,
they're not used to,
they're like, what
to hear
the
this.
I just thought you were going to talk to me about what you do for business. And I was like, no, actually, I just want you to know where I'm at and where I come from. I'm not actually interested in many friends. I don't need friends. I'm very busy with business, but it's cool that our wives hang out. And right now, I'd love to just be here and connect with you tonight. But understand I'm not a perfect person. I don't pretend to be. And I don't like bullshit surface level conversation. So if that's what you're after and you like golf, I fucking hate golf. And we cannot talk about anything if you don't want to.
They're not used to this kind of conversations.
No. And that's like no bullshit. And it's not because I'm a dick. It's because I just recognize that in my world, the only way that I can live the have-it-all lifestyle that we teach at Wake Up Warrior is to eliminate the bullshit. There's not enough space in life for the bullshit.
No.
And every day I find new bullshit inside myself. I'm like, oh my God, this morning I'm like finding more bullshit. I'm like, it never ends.